into the show
that informs, improves, and inspires racers everywhere.
The Northwest Race Report. The Northwest Race Report is brought to you by O'Hagan's Kart Supply, Lebanon, Oregon. You want to win? O'Hagan's wants to help. And by True Tech Automotive, Hazeldale, Washington. Get your car, truck, or tow rig repaired the right way, the True Tech way. And by Scott Seal Coat and Striping, Federal Way. For over 25 years, whether you're sealing or striping, you can count on Scott. And by Southern Oregon's karting headquarters, Speed City LLC, keeping racers on track with quality support and friendship. You're tuned in to the Northwest Race Report exclusively at terrybridges.com. And now back to your horsepower and performance hosts, Terry Bridges and Glenn Lippy Tower.
Sean Ledirt here for the Northwest Race Report at the Clay Cup Nationals, Deming Speedway. Your winner in the 600, Jake Hagopian. Is this the biggest race win for you?
You know what, it ranks with the hustle, but, you know, dollar-wise, it's the biggest. But, and I'm just so thankful that I've had the opportunity to be able to attend races like this. And thanks to the Lemley family, the whole Deming Speedway crew for putting on events like this. I've been kind of gun-shy the past few years since we had such a bad time up here back in 2009. And, you know, just something told me to give it a shot again. And all my friends and family told me, you know, that it was something I needed to do, and I'm so glad we did.
Liam had an issue there at the start after you got by him there, and then after that, it seemed like you were able to just kind of dictate your race.
You know, I knew it was going to be a dogfight with Liam, and you know, luck was on our side. He was going hard the first lap, and then you know, my crew chief Cole was kind of giving me signals on the yellows, telling me to protect a little bit and then give it a shot. And when the top just kind of wasn't working for me, I just said you go to the bottom and just park it down there. And that normally ain't my thing, but I made it my thing tonight.
Dad was looking down, wasn't he?
Yeah, most definitely.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
This is Sean here in the dirt. Jared Peterson judge right now. Did you have anything for Jake in that race?
No, I mean, once he went down to the bottom, that was kind of the place to be, and we got the lap cars, and they were all running the bottom, and he was following them. I was trying the top, but it wasn't going anywhere, so it is what it is.
You got into the wall there. Did that change your line there at the end when you got into the wall a couple times there?
Yeah, I was just trying everything I had, and there wasn't much of a cushion there. It was you pretty much had to go in and hit the wall and try and get a good run off, and it wasn't good enough.
Could you hear Dunkirk like pounding the wall over lap after lap?
No, you can't hear much when you're racing.
Right. All right. Well, hey, still congratulations. Fun to watch you.
Thank you.
This is Sean here in the dirt. Chance Crum Josie right now. That was an entertaining race.
Yeah, you know, we were running third for a really long time and started trying the middle there, getting a little bit desperate. Just really couldn't make anything work. So hats off to Hagopian and Peterson there for a great run. It was a fun race.
Did you have anything for them? Because you tried everything, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, I had the car pretty much all the way adjusted that I could, and I tried as many lines as I could think of. Just nothing really worked. I feel like we were pretty even. Just, you know, needed things to shake out differently in lap traffic.
You know, tough luck in the 1200 there, losing the engine, but luckily you were pretty smart driving it through that big puddle of water out there, and then, you know, overall, good weekend for you.
Yeah, solid weekend. It would have been really nice to come home with 2 podium finishes, but, you know, good way to cap it off here with a third in the 600.
This is Sean, you're in the dirt. Your winner tonight, the 1200, Liam Ryan. Man, how many of these have you got now, 5?
Yeah, 5 out of 7. I've done this race 7 times, got second once, 5 firsts, and didn't finish a lap last year.
You're pretty banged up from, I imagine, the 600, huh?
Yeah, throttle stuck wide open on lap 1, starting on the pole. It's follow the leader track, down around the bottom, and coming out of 3 and 4, things stuck wide open, and pulled in the clutch, car drove over my arm. There's nothing I could do, so
man.
Sucks.
You're going to be okay?
I broke my arm. I'll go to the hospital. They'll patch me up, and I'll be good to go.
Race car drivers, they're just another breed, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you feel fine for a while and then kind of cool off, and then you realize, hey, this kind of stings a little bit. And then after a little while, you're like, okay, this really, really hurts. And then after a little while later, you're like, all right, it's finally time to get it checked. And then they go tell you broke your arm.
Like we talked about yesterday, the 1200 was really running well for you. You know, you started pulling both of them, but that 1200 was really rocking. And, you know, you didn't own that thing for a while. I think you own it again, right? And when you bring that thing out, it's like a rocket ship.
Yeah, the thing just works so good here. We've had the same shock package. We've had the same bars. We've had the same everything in the car, same motor, same everything we got in the car has been the same for 7 years. So if it messed up and it's not running right, it's obviously my fault, so I'll try and fix the problem.
Congratulations. Sorry to hear about your arm. Hope we can get in some more racing.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So, Sean, you're in the dirt. Back to back. Back to back. What's it feel like to get the back to back?
It feels really good, honestly.
Yeah. You're quite the entertainer during the week, right? You don't take things too serious, do you? But when you put that helmet on, Colby Thornhill becomes something different, doesn't he? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you now?
10?
But you're turning 11 soon, right?
Yeah.
Back-to-back 600 restricted clay cups. What's next for Colby Thornhill?
I really don't know.
He doesn't know. Well, I'm sure the open class is waiting for you, right? Because I think you'll be good in that class, and we can't wait to see you. This weekend was just pretty crazy for you, wasn't it? Was there anything that you did different this year than last year to prepare yourself for this?
Not really.
Just go at it, right? Put the helmet on, do your best every night. Isn't that what it is?
Yep.
All right. So now you got this. What's next? Where are we going next? Wherever Dad tells you to go?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. I know you don't like to talk too much, so I appreciate the interview. Pretty exciting to have you win 2 years in a row. Thank your sponsors and who helps you.
I'd like to thank CS9 Chassis, RKB, the Dunkirk family, my grandma and grandpa, my mom, my dad, my sister, all the fans, and PGHX Fading.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Sean, you're in the dirt. Your winner tonight in the Casey Kane Juniors at Clay Cup, Jaden Whitney. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does it feel like to win Clay Cup?
It feels really awesome.
Just really awesome?
Yeah.
Talk about your race. What was going through your mind there?
Well, on the start when I got past, I got a little frustrated, but then when the yellows started coming out, I started getting back in the front, and we kept on getting restarts. So then I found my groove, and I started working my way up.
And you had to fight some really tough competition here this last 3 days, so I bet this is huge for you to get this win.
It is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who do you want to thank?
Precise Machining and Joe's Racing Products and my family for making it possible for me to come out here and race tonight for Clay Cup.
Congratulations, Terry, Lippy, Loader. That's a wrap here from Clay Cup. Back to you guys. Let's get this show started.
Oh, what's going on, racers? Big shout out to Sean Holbert, Sean in the Dirt, for giving us those awesome interviews from Clay Cup this past weekend. We got a great show for you tonight. Our Blue Line Graphics in the seat guest is none other than Ryan Fernandez, back-to-back, because he did a super great job over there at Meridian. We're going to talk more about that. The Loaders got some stuff on trailer security and how you can keep your trailer secure. I've got 10 ways to be a winner to help your program. And the Lipmeister is in the house. He's over there hammering out the points. Congratulations to Northwest Kart Dates P1 tonight. But before we get started, up at Wenatchee over the weekend on Sunday, Jim Miller from Miller Family Racing had a terrible crash. He's in a medically induced coma, and he is now in Harborview Medical Center up in Seattle. I guess it was pretty bad. They've got a GoFundMe account for Jim Miller there. You can go there at GoFundMe.com. $50,000 is what the goal is. They've already reached $28,888, and it just happened on Sunday. So big shout out to all the racing family for digging deep and putting that money out. And our prayers here at the Northwest Race Report are with Jim Miller, his whole family, the whole crew, everybody. We just, that's something, going in can happen. You just don't expect it to happen, but when it does, it's terrible. So our hearts are out to everybody involved with Jim Miller and Miller Family Racing. Wow, what's going on, guys?
It's all good in the hood.
A fantastic weekend.
Good for you.
I'm waiting to hear about Eastern Washington from you.
It was warm.
We got gobs of results, but we're gonna give the Loader some time to talk a little bit about Republic. He went up there, and it's kind of kind of a out of the way, unheard of kind of facility. So we're take it away, Loader.
Well, first off, I would like you to. Here's something for you, and here's something for you.
No way. We get swag, dude.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Heck yeah, Tiana Berkeley T-shirts. How's that? That's awesome.
I'm gonna be representing.
Dang straight. Awesome.
So
she hooked us up, or you did, one or the other.
They took care of us.
Nice.
So, and a big shout out to them. It was probably one of the. It's actually like a jewel. It's kind of like, you know, the way you talk about South Sound. This thing has potential beyond. It's 4/10. Pretty high banked if a guy was to use it. They kind of got it 3-tiered, so most everybody stayed down on the flat. But a very unique facility. They don't on the tower side. They terrace the hill, so everybody tailgates on the hill. So they're all sitting up there, all tailgated out. They said in the deal, the press release I seen today it was the largest crowd they had ever had.
Wow.
For a race. And we had the big rigs like Rick used to drive, and I got to give the props to Tiana for going out and getting the money for the modifieds. She got the Chevrolet dealership. The starter threw in $500. There was, and I don't know where all the rest of it came from, but it was very impressive, a very well-run show. Like I told her the other day on Facebook, I said, well, she won the show, and I told her it's a good thing that, you know, if anybody else would have won, because that's her home track, we would have got booed out of the place. We probably had to fight our way out of Republic. But in all regards, she drove a fantastic race. She didn't make any mistakes. She was good. So it was very interesting, very warm. Thunder showers on Saturday morning.
Crazy.
Oh, it woke up to this rumbling, and I'm thinking, what the heck? So I look outside, and here's a lightning flash right across the canyon, and then the rain starts, and it didn't last but maybe 5 minutes, and it was over with. But
typical.
Friday night, we had a fantastic barbecue. A friend of theirs had smoked some brisket and brats, had smoked them. Oh, my God. We had more food than we knew what to eat. There was desserts and food, and it was a fantastic time. Well worth it.
Awesome. That's good. That's always good, man.
And like I say, I thank the Berkeleys for everything they've done. Her dad has a repair shop. One of the rigs that was going over, he broke a fuel line. He made sure on Saturday, they brought it in on a flatbed. He made sure Saturday morning that there was parts there to get it fixed where we could be on the road. And
that's perfect.
It is. It was fantastic.
Wow, very, very cool. Well, so it looks like Republic's on the map. We need to support that place. You know, I mean, I don't.
Well, they're
410, so that's fairly big.
Yeah, you're just short of a half mile.
That's decent.
Yeah,
you know, it's like I said, and the Northwest Modified Tour will be running up there in August. So
sweet.
It'll be interesting to see how the crowd takes to them. I know part of the draw was the trucks. But they had sprint cars, and the sprint cars were cooking it around that place. They got in that high side, and the way they went.
Cool.
I would imagine. I like the whole tailgating thing along the edges. That's way better than grandstands in my book. You know, you got the barbecue, you got the chairs out, you got everything going on.
That, and the one guy said he had to walk like a quarter of a mile up the road to get to the ticket booth. Everything was filled up there with parking.
Wow.
So it was. I mean, They had a fantastic crowd. They had a beer garden. Their track food was unreal.
Wow.
Well, what else is there to do in Republic?
Well,
it's not very big. It can't be.
No, it's not very big. But I mean, I would venture to say at dark the sidewalk rolls up and. You know, it's just
you blink, you miss it.
Yeah.
But,
wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
well, it's always nice to find a diamond in the jewel that you.
The track has all kinds of potential, and it's club run. So, I mean, like the one gal told me, they've had their issues, they've had their fights, they've had all this stuff. But in the long run, I think for what I see there, they built brand new concession stands, 2 of them. They got a brand new timing tower. They're trying.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, and that's all. That's really all you can ask for. But wow, super deal. Lip, how's your week been?
My week has been absolutely fantastic. Busy as ever. This morning I got a call from ORV, Grays Harbor, and he let me know that he was really impressed with our last show, really liked the numbers, liked the people, liked everything that was happening, which prompted him to start looking for a grader. And by mid-afternoon, he was able to get a hold of Elma and the guy that takes care of Elma, and they brought their grader down, and ORV has been graded.
Wow, cool. But you said it still wasn't going to be still wasn't going to be all the way perfect until...
I haven't been there to see it. They graded it this afternoon
at
2 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So your post earlier was they tore it up. They just didn't have the grader there.
They have a grader and graded it.
Wow. Nice.
So that'll probably be Slim. He's the one that does the track down there. He does a great job.
Yeah, he rode the grader down from Elma and spent about 3 hours on the track today. So I'm very excited. I did not get off in time to make it down there to have a look at it, but I will be down there on Friday to assess the situation. So,
how far to Republic?
6.5 hours.
Could it be a kart track?
You could put one inside. You wouldn't want to run the big one.
Okay.
The big one is just, I mean, like I say, you're almost at a half mile.
Yeah, that's
a little bit farther than I think you would want to make your legs of your cart go, but they could put something inside of it that's an open infield.
Well, Kevin Bridges says, start watering. More water.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Wow. Well, that sounds super, super, super good. Yeah. Republic, 6.5 hours away. That's about a jaunt to Spokane, basically, from here.
Basically, you come into Wenatchee, you go right across the river right as you get into town, where you could just go straight up the hill and go to the...
That's where the Super Oval is. Yep, up on the hill.
And you just take off up the river.
Wow.
Until you get to Tenaska, and then you go up the hill.
Wow. So it's a long uphill pull then.
Ooh, we kept saying, well, it's got to be around this corner. Oh, around this corner. Oop. Wow, what corner is it around to top out?
Yeah, wow.
It's about an hour and a half from the Canadian border, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite that far. I think they said 50 miles.
Oh, okay.
So
about an hour then.
Yeah.
Whoa, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, man, had a blast.
We got a buttload. I'm telling you, a buttload. I mean, I just couldn't believe all the results that were in. It's just it's crazy. So we're gonna have to rip to get everything through. We got Ryan Fernandez. He's going to be talking to us. Boy, did he have a weekend over at Meridian. More about that coming up. But let's get into our Winter Circle Wednesday. If you're serious about racing, you're constantly looking for an edge. A tenth here, a pound there. It's a nonstop pursuit to find a quicker way around the racetrack. See High Performance believes to beat the racetrack, you must become the racetrack. And that is the thought process behind all of their innovative speed products. From their line of Superfly bodies and wings to the latest dual disc center vane Super Brake, it's all about finding a quicker way around the racetrack. With 45 years of innovation, See High Performance is dedicated to helping racers of all skill levels find an edge. Whether it's horsepower tuning, chassis dialing, or tire science, it's their commitment to innovation that sets them apart from the rest. Innovation is not what is, it's always been about what can be. So be all you can be with the integrity, innovation, and inspiration of C High Performance. Shop online 24/7 at chighperformance.com. Wow. Winter Circle Wednesday, Clay Cup. Normally, I don't know, can you read my writing?
No.
I mean, can you read any of that?
No.
Okay. Because Jeff's computer's on the fritz. He usually has all the Deming stuff, so I didn't even really get it. But, boy, shout out to Liam Ryan, who you heard earlier in the show. He won all 3 nights in the 1200. Crum took it. Let's see. Jake Hogopin won it night 3. Jared Peterson, Chance Crum was 3rd. Colby Thornhill wins the 600R on night 3. Colin Mackey and Caden Steele. Jaden Whitney, Jade Avedizian, and Isabella Barnes. Top 3 in junior sprint. Henderson and Chad Reed followed Ryan across the stripe. Night 2. Crum, Caitlin Hammer, TJ Smith. Do you know TJ Smith? I don't know him. Do you know? Dakota Drake, Parker Hadlock, and Colin Mackey, 600R on night 2. And junior sprints was Mitch Hessel, Peyton Drake, and Colton Mackey. Night 1, it was Brad Davidson and Brent Sexton following Ryan across in the 1200s. Sean Holliff, Jake Hogopin, and TJ Smith in the 600s. Let's see here. Who do I have here? I have Peyton Hagan and Jeff. Is it? I need to probably, let's see. Jeff Pahuli Jr. and Seth Anderini, 600R. Levi Hillier, Jaden Whitney, Isabella Barnes, Junior Sprint, Clay Cup. 3 nights of racing up there at Deming. I've never been there. I need to go up and have their hamburgers. I guess their Deming burger or something is super good. You went up, Lippy, didn't you? Oh, you never made it?
I never made it.
Dang. Quickly going through. KCS at MAC, the Oregon State Karting Championship Series. Mason Smark wins Junior 1. Emmett Cass wins the Kid Karts. 206 Masters went to Wyatt Rusher. Shifter 2, S2 went to David Shorn. Jonathan Brown second. Tyler Shepard third. S4 went to Nick Reel, Mark Dahl, and Mitch Kirkpatrick. World Formula Heavy was Mike Shorn, Brian Green, and Greg Hall. Don't know Greg Hall, but I know Shorn and Brian Green. Northwest Kart Dates, 206 East over in Spokane. Ryan Hansen, Cam Blakesley, Junior 1, and Riley Miller, Junior 1. Junior 2 went to Gabe Tesh. Ed Reynolds, Senior 206 went to Jimmy Laswell. Andrew Zimmer, second. Steve Morris, third. Tag Senior went to Burt Gassaway, former Phil Fow protege. Megan Camara and Nikki Johnston. Junior Tag went to Carson Blakesley. Saturday night, Tri-Cities. They were under the lights, I believe. Junior 1 went to Trey Arnzen, Tegan Fletcher, Harrison Budzik. Junior 2 went to Daytona Arnzen, Elizabeth Hunter, Hayes, and Zach Fransky. Women's 206, Verlene Richardson, Karen Nagel, and Brandy Strait. Senior 206, Kellen Dean, Justin Korinkowitz, and Justin Walsh. 206 Masters, Bryce Peterson, Lucas Story, Eric Hubley. PRD went to Ricky Worley, Chris Worley, and John McNeil. Rotax Senior, Chris Mann, stud, Michael Groff, and Kalen Richmond. Northwest Kart Dates West at SEMA up in Sumas. Ellie Musgrave, Junior 2. Got to talk to her a little bit on Facebook the other day. She's a great young lady. Samuel Barrera Garcia, second spot. Evan Arnold, third. Senior 206, Kevin Janiers, Monroe Jordan, and Ken Porter. Tag Masters went to Tom Madden. Chris Wilberg, Robert Jukes. Shifters, Monroe Jordan, Jamie McAllister, Adam Isman. That must have been a heck of a race. Sportsman Shifter, Kieran Madden, Jeff Janders, Russ Wolf. Tag Senior, Adam Isman, Brandon Cusack, and Andrew Wilson. That, too, must have been really good. Tag Junior 1 went to Massimo Valiente, Kean Hartley, and Landon, Landon Seaver? Boy, there's a lot of them. I just can't believe how many. Northwest Kart Dates continued up there at Sumas, and Rookie Junior 1 went to Mason Chambers. Tag Junior 2 went to Gabe Butchenshone, Evan Arnold, and Katie Musgrave. Tag Junior 3 went to Jackson Morrow and Sam Thiessen. Big news for the Northwest Kart Dates. They got the Grand Regional for next year. It's going to be in the spring, but it's going to be at the Puget Sound Go-Kart Association right over here. Big stuff, 2018. So you can go to the Northwest Kart Dates Facebook page, check more on that. They're going to have Junior 1, Junior 2, Senior Medium, Senior Heavy, World Formula, and Kid Karts. It's all 206. It'll be the biggest 206 shootout probably in the Northwest. So boom, boom, there you have it. Dirty Cup, Meridian, Idaho. I had never been to Meridian. Heard a lot of things about it. Have you been to Meridian, Jeff, through your travels?
No, I have not.
Sweet facility. Little quarter mile. Looks bigger than a quarter to me, but sweet facility, sweet people running it. Just super awesome. And the track's small. Ronnie went over there with Chris Gibb would love him. He went over there with treads and no body work and his Stegosaurus. If he would have had a clutch, he would have been good. He was just running direct drive, and by the end of the main, because I guess the air gap was gone. So,
did you happen to see what Josh posted this afternoon?
No, I did not. Did he was
improvements coming.
Yeah, they
wider straightaways, bigger,
and a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's what they said. They want to help out the Carter stuff. So, but night one. Ryan Fernandez was your quick qualifier with a 9.7. Terry Lawrence won Heat A with Fernandez and King. Second, third. Heat B went to Craig Anderson, Matt Fontaine, and Josh Cully. The dash went to Rusty King, Stansberry, and Fernandez. In the feature, it was Stansberry, Fernandez, Cully, Anderson, and King, your top five. That was night one. The junior UAS on night one was James King with fast time, 10.546. Daniel Watkins swept everything else, both heats in the feature. Senior 4, Scott Bitaganetta was fast time, 10.133. Bitaganetta took the dash in the heat. Brady Blinkhorn took the feature in Senior 4. Junior Speedway, Brady Ransom. Dude was on a mission. He got up on the wheel. He was fast time in 11.059. Cale Cully took heat race 1. Ransom took the dash, and Cully took the feature. They went 1-2. There's only 2 of them, but still, it's all right, Predator. Keziah Arp was fast time. She was pretty good, 10.954. Dash went to Brian Williams. Feature went to Brian Williams, Cody Skinner, Nick Durbin. That was night 1. Night 2 was the actual quarter point event. A lot of guys, 14 showed up.
Nice.
Huh? We had Lawrence. Both Lawrences were there. Stansberry was there. The Iron Man was there. Cully was there. Fernandez was there. The Rocket. Anderson. Let me just say, Travis Anderson. Remember, he was the sleeper at BK here a couple of years ago. Homemade cart, and an old Star Tecumseh motor. And dude was rolling. I'm just saying. He was killer. Fernandez set a new track record with a 9.262. Anderson took heat 1. Stackman and Cox were second and third. Fernandez took heat 2. Stansberry and Jared Storr. Storr was there. Area 51 was there too. Heat 3 went to Ronnie Cox. Stackman, Travis Anderson. Heat 4 went to Josh Cully. The Conti, 2 transferred in. It was Terry Lawrence, Matt Fontaine. The feature, Fernandez, Anderson. Cox was third. Cully fourth. Stackman fifth. Stansberry 6th. Storr 7th. Fontaine 8th. King and Lawrence. There you have it. Junior UAS, Daniel Watkins, James King. Senior 4, Scott Bitaganetta and Brady Blinkhorn. Junior Speedway, Brady Ransom, Bryson Barrow, Cale Cully. In the Predators, it was Arp, Austin Hager, and Nick Durbin there. So it was a great show. Hotter than Hades. I know Milton. They had to take Milton to the snack shack over there. I guess he was about ready to go down. So they had him back there sitting in front of a big air conditioner. He was okay by the main, but by then it had cooled off quite a bit. It was just muggy and stuffy and just, it was brutal. So yeah, it was pretty cool though. I mean when they make that bigger, it's going to be dialed. But even the regular track is sweet. I mean, it's a nice, clean. I mean, it's not super new or fancy. It's just nice and clean and well done. And it's right in the middle of downtown, so it's crazy. I mean, you look around and it's like Walmart's over here, and it's just like being downtown. I thought it was the fairgrounds. Really, that's what it looks like because there's a park right behind it, but it's not. It's been there forever. They got good snack bar food, like Jeff was saying at Republic. They got, deep fried pickles and all kinds of good stuff. I mean, just the bomb. So, and we celebrated till actually about, I think it was 2:30 or so that's when Fernandez was finally loading. Well, he wasn't loading it. Gil Atkinson was loading it. But
Sounds like-
I got a motor. A Strebe motor. I mean, it's not actually a Raptor, but it's one that's going to be legal for there. So I got that from Dustin Stevenson from Competition Cover. He goes, hey, I got to get rid of this. I got it with a bunch of stuff. You know what? I said, I'll take it. Boom. There it is. All I got to do is put a clutch on it. So I probably need to give it to Lippy, give it the once over, and let him go through it. And
Starts of a mini bike right there.
No, we got to get a cart so we can run a Strebe. We can have an NWRR ride so we can go up there. We can put Jeff in it, and he can go run up there at Strebe, you know?
Clean sweep.
Absolutely. That'd be kind of cool. Hermiston Raceway Park.
Fat Man Racing.
Okay.
Hey, don't laugh. Gil Atkinson said he was a short little fat guy, and he ran pretty good, started from the back and was third in the UAS. So Hermiston Raceway Park. I don't know if anybody's going over there, but I hope the UAS, some of them go over there to do an exhibition coming up on, I think it's August 12th or something. That would be kind of cool. But Hornets, Andy Pierce wins that. Bombers, Cordry Preston. Street Stocks went to Luke Kilgenberg. The next event for Hermiston Raceway Park is this weekend. Street Stocks, Mini Stocks, Bandos, and the Hornets. Up at Evergreen, they had the Figure 8 Nationals. Jeff's going to love this. Hornets went to Toby Jenkins, Mike Jensen, Chad Robertson, Dawson Cox, and Caleb Raridan. Figure 8 Outlaw went to Chris Curtis, Seth Funden, Zach Larson, Doug Wilkinson, and John Carlson. Pro 4 Trucks went to Pete Brady, Matt Green, Aaron Green. Stinger 8s, Mark Jenkins, Jason Wilson, my man, Cody Hoops. Stock Figure 8, Steve Cox, Brian Little, and Devin Jenkins. And the Youth Hornets went to Dario Reich, Ryan Clark, and Andrew Reinders. Let's see here. We're smoking along. I tried to get some stuff from Wenatchee, just couldn't make heads nor tails of it. Who was with two mains? It was two different guys. I don't know what the heck it was. So Wairika, Speed City went down. They had beginner box. That was won by Malachi Johnson, Jacob Janes. Box stock was Drew Barry, Taylor Fuller, Natalie Hudson. Intermediate beginner went to Chase Smith, Hannah Halt. 250s, Chloe Smith, J.D. Hundman, and Nick Perry. Is it Pervin, I think? Yeah. 500s went to Jeff Hudson, Wyatt Pinkney, Duke Johnson, Bobby Hirschback, and Brianna Fuller makes her first start in the 500.
Woohoo!
I don't know how old she is, but she's pretty young. So she's there. UAS, Larry Fuller, Jeremy Brown, Speedway, Brianna Fuller, Johnny Hout, Lori Fuller, and Steve Rambo were there. SoCal Carters, race number 5, wheel to wheel. Open. Chris Southern won that, and he won the UAS. KT went to Tom Southern. F200 went to Steve Juliet. Senior 4 went to Ronnie Benton. Junior class went to Brandon Head. And let's see, Dirt Cart Senior went to Bill Martin. Rick Beeson, Ryan Bond. Dirt Cart Junior went to Will Brown. Lila Bonham and Max Tippett. And that's it. Congratulations to some of the guys. The UAS around the USA, Virginia UAS, Josh Pierce, Bobby White, Will Pritchard, Chris Peck, and Adam Roy. That was the main event at Virginia in the Unlimited All-Stars. I was just hoping to find another list, but nothing doing. Can-Am coming to town up at Greg Moore in Chilliwack, BC, July 21st through the 23rd. August 12th is Spokane, Under the Lights, and August 18th through the 20th, the Gold Cup in Sumas. Of course, we got the Quarter Midget Grants coming up July 28th, 29th. And then, of course, the Road Race Nationals that next week, August 1 through 4 at the Ridge. Hopefully everybody can come and check that out. Lippy, you should really put a gear on that thing and come run that 206 or something at the Ridge. You would probably love it. And just a shout-out to the Northwest Mini Stock Tour. They haven't run in a while, but Jason Majors, Tanner Dates, Brad Rhodes, Scott Murphy, Josh McMillan, and Devin Matthews, currently your top 5 in that. They're going to be running up at Evergreen at the big summer showdown coming up this weekend. That's going to be a show. I won't be there. It's my honey's 50th birthday, so I would be castrated if I don't go to that.
Duly so.
Double M will be making his debut at Sunset Speedway in his dwarf car this weekend.
I'm going to try to sneak down to that.
Yeah, he's pretty stoked. And, yeah.
Looks like the loader's got something.
Yeah, the loader does have something. So let's get into his little session so we got time to get through it.
We're tracking and packing around the Northwest with the loader, Jeff Eden. Well, first off, still got some results here. Got Grays Harbor, Kelsey Carpenter, Devin Barnes, and James Millard on the Sportsman Sprints. Streets, or the however you want to call them, the
Street stocks?
Yeah, that's kind of I don't call them street stocks when they look like that. But Parcel, Fitz, and Mann. The dwarf cars, Martinez, Corbin III, and Ward. South Sound, Super Late Models, Bob Presley, Tommy Elstone, and Tristan Hyder.
Hyder made his debut. That's sweet.
No, he's been out a couple times, but he's been third. Has been about the best. They had some issues. They lost a clutch before qualifying. They had a whole bunch of stuff going on. So, mini stocks, John Benera, Dwayne DeYoung. Hobby stocks went to Tyler Loban, and Brandon Fisher was second. And the B's was Chris Brown and Sean, Zach Darwinkle, and Zerban Pikes. Sunset, the topless 100 modifieds. Take the tops off and run them.
Cool.
$1,000 to win.
With the top off?
With the tops off.
Nice. I'll do that.
Craig Kessel won.
Oh, nice.
Kenny Miller was second. Don Jenner was third. Pure Stocks, Tanner Corbling, Danny O'Neill, and Amanda Clark. 4Bs, TJ Winger and John Gardner.
What's a 4B?
4-cylinder.
Okay.
Willamette, it was their, what they call that, the Shriners Cup this weekend, their mid-season championships. Hanson made some really cool trophies with pieces that he gets out of motors and stuff, and it's got the Shriners hat on the very top of it.
Oh, cool.
They were really cool looking. Super Late Models, Colin Weinberger.
Superman, again.
Trent Elliott and Bryson James.
Ooh.
Mods went to Brian Thompson, Colin Weinberger,
Superman,
John Campos.
Oh.
Super Sports, Dan Dibble, Randy Barclay, and Chris Mott. Sportsman, my cousin's husband, Ryan Emery, won all three. He got the trophy dice, the heat race, and the main event.
Well, good for him.
Yep, that's his first.
Hat trick.
Yep.
He said a hat trick. I haven't heard that one in a while.
James Slover, Casey Rhodes. Street Stocks, Kyle Yack, Kevin Roberts, and Steve Jorgensen. And the Hornets was Sam Potter, Tracy Muse. Down at Cottage Grove was 2 days of racing. They had their sprint tour was wrapping up for their 5-day or 6-day deal. The 360s, night one, Jason Sowell, Roger Crockett, and Steven Tyner. Mods was Aaron Schuler, Gray Fernando, and Bryson James. And the Hornets was Joe Markell and Brad Moffitt. Night two, Crockett, Sowell, and Mitch. I ain't going to try to. Faccinto.
Faciso?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Late model, Curtis Towns, Bly Taylor, and Josh Sims. And the mods, Gray Fernando, Craig Hansen, and Curtis Towns.
Beauty. Hey, big shout out to Andrea Jaime. I haven't talked to her since the Grands back in 14. Her son is quite the driver. Enrique Jaime.
And here's this just came across a few minutes ago here. This is an update from the Miller family racing. He said that they're all touched by everybody's generosity and everything. They've been reading positive messages to him through this difficult time while he's still in a coma. They've been telling him about all the love and the support he's getting. We have received some positive news this morning according to his status. Jim received an MRI on Tuesday night because the doctors were thinking he had an injury in his brain stem called a diffuse, and DAI is what it's short for, which would be the worst case scenario. We received the results this morning from Dr. Rappert, Jim's neuro doctor, informed us he did not have this brainstem injury. He has some small areas and parts of the brain that were affected, but he does not believe they will cause any disabilities, severe disabilities.
Wow.
And we went to inform everybody that nothing is certain. Jim has a very long road to recovery and a very unknown time frame. He also has a fracture of T5 and T6 vertebrae, as well as a few rib fractures.
Wow.
So
that was a hit. That must have been one heck of a lick.
Anyway, there's keep him in your prayers, people.
Absolutely. You can go to GoFundMe.com if you want to do it, Jim Miller, and donate if you feel so implied to. Hey, you got some stuff. So how do I keep my trailer safe? I mean, we one of our own here, Lippy, had his trailer broken into I don't know how many times. He's lost so much stuff, he probably can't even see straight.
Yeah.
You got an update kind of on that, right?
Well, yeah. This is, like I said the other day, if your truck and trailer got stolen, would you be done racing? Could you continue to race? So this is some of the stuff that I got this article from Speedway Illustrated, and it's in the April edition. And it's number 1, make it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
He said a late model racer and a former policeman had his truck and trailer stolen right out of his driveway. He'd left his keys in
it. Whoops.
Yeah. You're a cop. You should know better. Buy good quality locks. If you're buying a $3 lock, you probably deserve to get your stuff stolen. Make it hard. Trailalarm.com has locks that actually cover the whole latches. So basically they lock down over the latch. And
it looks like a hockey puck, and they are awesome. Because I just have to interject on this one, because that's how they got into my trailer. I bought the good lock, and they didn't even mess with my lock. They went right for the mechanism, and it's softer, lighter, and they went right through the mechanism. So I bought the puck lock like you're talking about, and they are awesome. It's well worth the $12.
Yeah, $12. If you're not willing to spend $12 for your own security, then you probably deserve to have it broken into. I mean,
and then they highly recommend a tongue lock. They make them. They're made out of. They're like 8 pounds. I mean, they're heavy. They're made out of a 1/4-inch steel plate. And if they're going to get in there, they're going to have to work at it. It's not a small task.
Right.
I have one that's a cast one, and I guarantee you ain't getting into that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. Keep the trailer inside a fence if you can. I know you got one. Or a shop, which for most of us is a dream to have our trailer sitting inside of a shop. But that's 2 options that'll help. That's devices that's harder to get there. Then that's just what you need to do.
I want to interject on that again. My insurance company, the first thing I said when my trailer was broken into, the first question was was it parked on the street? And I'm like, well, why? Because that's a public place. So in a public place, it is not insured. If you have homeowners or anything like that, parked on the curb in front of your house is not insured. So do not do that. Get it on your property. I'll just keep interjecting.
No, that's fine.
No,
that's perfect.
Those are great things.
That's
yeah.
perfect. And if these 2 options, if you don't have these 2 options, they make like the tire claw, theft boots, like what the city uses.
Mm-hmm.
Put them on there. They're not very expensive, and they don't come off. I mean, you just can't knock it off there. Another thing to do for deterring thieves: park in a well-lit area. Say you're out of town, you're at the motel. Find an area.
And try to probably, I would think, find somewhere where you can back the back of it up against it, right?
Yeah. And we've, like, a couple times have been out of town, we always try to get door to door. That way it's, you can't just get in and out of them. You need to think about what you're doing, where you're parking at, and the areas you're parking in. If you're in a shady area of town, think twice.
Need to booby trap it is what you need to
do. Alarm systems. Put an alarm on it. There's all different types of them out there. Make sure it's got noise, flashing lights. You do that, and they open that thing up. They may have got it open, but they do not want to stick around if it's got crap going off, flashing and noise. They want out of there, and now. There's all different types of alarms. There's flashing lights, sirens. They've got some of them that they'll start to take off, and the brakes will lock up on the trailer. It won't go nowhere. There's a lot of ways to do it. You can put GPS in your trailer, so if it is stolen, your phone can track them.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's not and it's once again, what you got in there. The value is, it's value. I mean, there's no way you can put a stake on the value of it. So some of this stuff, it don't cost much, or it might even cost a little bit more than what you think. But is it worth everything you got there?
Well, something that Renee just posted up, too, is everybody likes to put graphics out there, letting everybody know, who it is that's hauling what and what you're hauling, but that is not always the best thing.
Okay, we're getting
there.
Yeah, there's a point to that, too, and it's really it's something that Renee might want to think about at this point in time. Sensors on the doors, you can do accelerometers, shock sensors. So if somebody starts hammering on the door, it automatically goes off. Say they want to bounce the padlock, it'll set it off. It don't even have to get opened up then. Recovery, and this is just what she was just talking about. To help with recovery, graphics sometimes makes it easier. For number one, if you've got a bunch of graphics on it, they don't want to steal it because they can't. It's too hard to hide. Make sure that the serial tags, they're in a spot where they can be easily removed. Weld them onto the frame. Weld that tag right out there, the number right on the frame. Yep. That way, if they got to grind it, then it's in trouble. And then, this is the one that I had never thought of, and everybody I've talked to has kind of went, really, I hadn't thought of it either. Most of the time, if they're stolen, you got police are looking for them. Say you've called it in, the police are looking for it. And they're driving over an overpass. What are they going to see? They see the top of the trailer. They don't see the side of the trailer. This article suggests that you put something on top of the trailer as an identifier. Say your zip code. Great big letters down the top. Something on the top of that trailer as an identifier. So if they're driving over the overpass, they look down and see, holy moly, there went that trailer that's got 903 on it.
Right.
It's
smart. That's.
It's
who thinks of that? Nobody.
No. So that was one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting
you could put this thing as stolen. But no, you wouldn't want to do that because every time you were driving it, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. And then don't be bashful about checking into insurance. K&K Insurance has policies for your truck and your trailer. Off the track, at the track. Your car will never be covered at the track as far as, wrecking and all that other stuff. But it can cover the car, like say it's parked at home, they get stolen. It covers the car. It covers your tools. It covers your spare parts. Fire, theft. There was different. I looked at it, and to me, insurance is confusing, so I'm kind of. There was a lot of policies there, and they really wasn't that bad, especially when you figure what you can lose. And then another thing, your big ticket items that are in your trailer, have all the serial numbers down and have what you got and put away at your house. That way, if you do have to file an insurance claim, you know what you got to where you can get your stuff out.
And I think Lippy went through that. How hard would it be to take a picture of what's in there?
That's what I got to say. Go through and document everything you have. Picture it, talk about it on a video as you're videoing it. talk about what's in there, what you have. Graphics, to go back and touch on that a little bit. I was a parts driver for a while. I had a Astro van that was full of 38 cases of antifreeze. I pulled up in front of the store that I was working at, walked inside to ask the manager whether he wanted me to load it through the front door or the back door, walked back out, and my van was gone. Within 30 minutes, it was totally painted over and 14 miles away from where it was stolen from when the cops finally found it empty of the antifreeze that was in it when I left it. So graphics are good, but it don't take them long to cover it up. So, don't rely on that. Insurance, look into it. Definitely look into it. Most of what we do is a hobby. It is not covered under homeowners. It is not covered under normal insurance. If you have something and you have a lot invested in it, it's worth the time to talk to your insurance person. It's not going to cost you much, maybe $60 a year to get it fully insured. That's nothing compared to the thousands, for me, tens of thousands of dollars that they've peeled off of it that would not be covered under insurance because it was a hobby. Had it have been my work or had it have been my livelihood or anything like that, it would have totally been covered. But being it was something I did for pleasure, they would not cover any of it. So, please, if you have the stuff, spend the time, go in, talk to your insurance guy. It's minimal compared to what they can get off of you.
Well, Chizzy puts on there, what does he put? His comment was, I have tires soaked in super prep. They will be zombies or passed out until I can get the shotgun.
We can only hope.
And he takes their shoes away where they can't run.
Yeah. I mean, and Renee says, now you know why there's no graphics. They don't know what's inside. You see a hauler like Renee's, something in there's big money. You're gonna, if anything, that may want them to snoop even more, right? I mean, it's kind of like, holy cow, what's in this thing? I mean,
and for the most part, everything that we talk about is to keep the honest people honest. If they're thieves,
I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. If they want it bad enough, they're. I mean,
and I hate to use that cliche because I've used it time and time again, but that's what it is.
It's
keeping the honest people honest.
It is keeping the honest people honest, but some of the stuff you touched on, like door sensors, so when a door flings open, it goes off. The shock sensors, when it's shocked, the alarm goes off. I can tell you that even my battery box on the front of my tongue has a sensor on it, and when you open the lid on even my battery box, because you can go in there and cut my battery cable to shut off the alarm, okay? But I've got another battery inside my trailer. I have 2 sirens. I have one under my trailer. I have one in my trailer. So if you want to search them out and cut one of the wires, you're not going to get them both. These are all things you have to do to think ahead of the thieves, because believe me, these people do this stuff for a living.
That's right.
They know what to look for. They know where to go. And so you have to go into redundant form and try and think ahead of them. Hit the back door, the front door, the side door, the battery box, light up everything. My lights on the outside of my trailer that go towards the back and towards the side that I use during the pit times, those are all hooked into my alarm system. Just like you said, they start flashing immediately, whether you hit my shock sensor or my travel sensor or you open my tongue box. Everything goes off on that thing and lights up like a
Christmas tree.
There you go, Christmas tree.
Well, Chizzy says always put not for hire on the sides. I'm not sure why
that's good, especially traveling through states, because if you're not for hire, you don't have to stop at the weigh stations. If you don't have that on there, and we'll just say you've got a semi-like hauler like Renee has. it's a semi-like rig that pulls her double-stack trailer. She would be subjected to stop at weigh stations if she did not have not for hire on there.
To keep it labeled as commercial, a lot of distribution dealers use trailers for commercial work and are subject to DOT rules and taxes.
Well, to be honest with you, we all are with our trailers.
Well, we are. In California, it's way worse than here in Oregon. But you can defer a lot with the not for hire if you truly are a not for hire.
Well, you know, in Oregon, you don't have to have a plate. Like on my little one, you don't have to have a license plate on it. But up here,
oh yeah,
you do.
But see,
so
now,
my way around that is I'm going to go to the dealership and I'm going to get a new car plate.
Now
thing.
the big thing is racing is not considered a hobby. Racing is considered a business. If you are racing, you are doing a business. So business now has to have DOT on it.
Oh,
wow!
They can pop every one of us going up and down the road.
Is that our state, other states, all states?
Federal.
Wow, really? This is going to be interesting because that's going to play into what my insurance company says as a hobby. So if federal is saying it's no longer a hobby and a business, this is going to be interesting.
A friend of mine down in Oregon, they stopped him at the scales, and he did not leave till he bought tonnage.
Oh, really?
End of story. He had CDL. He's got everything.
Still had to pay tonnage.
Still had to pay tonnage. And he even bought a new trailer last year, so it was under 10,000. Doesn't matter.
Didn't matter. Oh. Well, you know, Hugler did the same thing because when you go over the border to go race like a Chilliwack.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you know what? He had his trailer full of his part. He said he was there for 9 hours.
Oh, I bet.
They emptied everything and then left it out.
Yep.
And he had to reload it all.
They had no problem doing that.
They did not. He said he said I was furious, but what can you do? They took everything out and just stacked it out on the street, and then said, "Okay, we're done. You can go." And he had to load all that stuff back up. He was hot, and they did it to me coming back through just even in my car. They emptied They took my bag. They rummaged through my bag. They went through everything, and then said, "Yep, you can go." And I go out and everything's lined up on the street, and I'm like, "We didn't put it back." No, we didn't.
Man, when we were we were drag racing back many years ago, coming back down from Canada, and one of the guys had the same thing happen to him. They gutted his trailer, and they were suspicious. Gordy was his name. And they ended up cutting holes in the floorboards and finding what they were looking for, which was counterfeit cigarettes. And, oh, man, that was a mess.
Chizzy says, yep, and all the chemicals we carry, they'd have to call the hazmat teams. We'd never make it to the race. Can you say impound?
Yeah, it's an impound race, all right.
Yeah, I mean.
If they can stand up.
And that's the whole thing. Part of this I disagree with, because we're racing as a hobby. If you want to go out and be a Ricky Thornton or I don't know how many of those guys, Bloomquist, them guys, they're racing for money. They're making money. They live on the road. We go every Saturday night. We're making money.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make enough to cover the tires that got burned off the car in a night.
Yeah, I know. It is. I mean, and hopefully you get a cool. Not all cops are. Seems like all the ones I get are dicks, but they're not all that way, right?
No.
I mean, sometimes there's cool ones that say, hey,
I've been back and forth over the Canadian border several times, and you get a lot of good ones that just want to know how you did, what do you got, what's it look like, that kind of stuff. They'll go back, peek their head in there, say, wow, well, how fast does it go, that kind of stuff, and send you on your way. But there's other ones that,
They wanted to know how much money was in my checking account.
Gee whiz.
I mean, they asked, how much money is in your checking account? It's like, I don't know.
Probably bounced the last one up here.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, who cares?
Well, that's what it kind of boils down to. You think about that, and we all go up to Mission and support the racetrack up there. We go up there and we stay in their hotels. We go to their restaurants. We drop a couple $100 up there a day.
That's right.
And then come back and what do we get for it? What are you bringing in? Well, your wife. I don't know.
Your wife.
Give me a break.
Well, and another Sean Highlands used to take and go across the border at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
they did.
They would wait.
First off, their trailer wasn't legal for Canada. It had a split axle in the back. They weren't allowed to have it, which didn't make no sense. So they get up there and they just wait till it's 2:00. They come back down.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, we got our in-the-seat guest. Your favorite drivers and people of interest in the motorsports world. It's time for In the Seat, powered by Blue Line Graphics. Well, we talked to him last week, and if you didn't know who he was before, there's several people that know who he is now after his performance up there at Meridian. Our Blue Line Graphics in-the-seat guest tonight is none other than new track record holder, Ryan Fernandez. What's going on, Ryan?
How are you guys doing today, Terry?
Good, man. How are you, buddy?
Good. Just soaking in the sun, getting ready to barbecue with the family. We're all super pumped still on last week. We're just got back from Gil's house a little bit ago. We had to throw the carts on and double-check all our scale numbers and make sure we wrote everything down from last week. Make sure that we don't forget that next time we may go out there again.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's just say, okay, so you come up to ORV, never been here, and you run second to the Rocket on a track you've never seen before. Then you go home.
Yeah.
You come back a week later to a track you've never seen before. Same bunch of guys. And by the way, there are no slouches in the bunch. No. And you go up there and you set a track record and you sweep the main event. You got to be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, it feels great, especially against the bunch that we're racing against. I'd have to say, out of the whole group, any one of us could win a race any given night. And we've worked really hard at our program. Gil's been working real hard with Mark Mood and Brendan Mullis back at Trick Olympic trying to get these chassis where we need them because they don't really have too many people developing the UAS programs on them. So things are a little different, as you know, with numbers and what the kart needs and what the drivers need. So we've been working really hard. He's been trying to develop his tire prep program. So depending on what track we show up at, we know what tires to pick and what to roll in them. That's really been helping a lot. And he nailed it this weekend. He has this new tire prep called Rock Bite and Sticky Fingers. And depending on what we need, if we need to soften the tire or if we need to bite through dust, he pretty much knows exactly which one to roll, and it seems to help the kart fire off real well for the first couple laps. And that's what we needed this weekend. We needed the kart to fire off for qualifying, so that way when I went out there, I could push it as hard as I could in the first corner and not worry about having to wait for the tires to come in. And that helped tremendously. But I can't thank these guys enough for it's definitely a group effort. We've had a lot of help lately and we've really been working hard at it, and we're not giving up on the program, and we kind of had a never die attitude about it. We put in the time and it definitely pays off. The more time you put in, you get it back, and it shows in the results and the luck you have during the day at the track.
Well, and here's the thing I don't think everybody knows. Up there at Meridian, so he was getting ready to go qualify. They had the kart dialed in where they like it. They go on the grid and it wouldn't fire. So it wouldn't start. So they asked, can we have some time? So I guess I gave him 2 or 3 minutes to get the backup car. So everybody hustles over there, gets it over. They're taking tires off. They're putting tires on the backup car. He goes out there with no body work, essentially, boom, 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 and sets the track record in his backup car.
Wow. Nice job. Why didn't it start?
Why didn't it start?
We're still not sure. We think we may have missed the carbs or something. On day one, the elevation was a little different, and both carts were running rich. So we may have just missed the carbs or something. It's kind of what it seemed like. It seemed like it was going lean. You know, the 2-strokes, you got to open those low speeds way up to get them to take off and clear out sometimes. It ran great in practice. I mean, we were running, we busted out the primary cart on day 2 and put the setup from the other cart from day 1 on it, and it was really good right off the bat. And so we were thinking, we want to use the more horsepower cart, so that way we can be able to stick our nose under people and pass down the straightaway. And it ran real good in practice, and then it just fell on its nose and died, and we thought we fixed it. And when we go to take off for qualifying, it right when I pulled onto the track, it died again. And we got lucky, man. They gave us the 2 minutes, and that was really what set up our foundation for the whole day. Had we not gotten out there to qualify, I don't know that the results would have been the same. You know, it started from qualifying, because you have to qualify well and get in a good heat and get good starting position. And that pretty much helped us for the rest of the night. You know, it was a great effort from everybody. The guys next to us, I mean, they dropped everything they were doing. They had their impact gun in their hand working on their cart, and he dropped everything he was doing and ran over and helped me. That was really cool. It was really one of the highlights of my day. Was I went from real disappointed and not even sure where we were going to land, because we needed the points to go towards the championship, and all of a sudden we were on the track qualifying, you know. So it was a pretty cool moment. You know, that's how UAS racing should be, if you ask me. Everybody, just good sportsmanship all around. You know, they're your competition, and they're going to drop everything to help you when you need it.
I agree. So let's give a shout out to your neighbor. Who was that dropped everything to help you out?
It was the other 45 carts. I can't remember the kid's name.
Ransom.
Joe's an
yeah,
awesome.
it was Joe Ransom. Man, that guy's that saved our butts, you know, and that guy is too cool.
First he says 45 stick together.
yeah, he was, man, his kid's good too. I can't wait till he gets older and moves up into the class. I think he got a first and a second. Yeah, he didn't, no questions asked. We didn't know each other until we showed up at the track, and he had no problem dropping everything to help us get on the track. And, you know, that was really awesome. I really appreciated that. I think Gil did too, because that was going to make or break our day right there, getting on the track. You know, I didn't expect the pole position for sure. I was just like, get me on the track. Let's go. I'll take care of it, you know. And once I got out there, I had my tongue hanging out the side of my mouth, and I just went for it, you know.
Yeah. Well, so Friday night, Stansbury won it, but there was a little bit of you and Stansbury got together, or is that what happened, or?
No, I think me and Stansbury started towards the back. I started dead last, and from the invert, which was actually nice in the long run because I got passing points, you know. So I think I got up to like third or something, and under caution, Stansbury, we were all nose to tail, and I believe Stansbury kind of turned it a little bit. He might have got a little help. I might have helped him. I'm not sure. We were all stacked together. The video doesn't really help that I watched. It doesn't really show what actually started it, but he got turned sideways, and I either had a choice of stay in the race line and hit him and we both go to the back, or try to hit him in the nose and straighten us both out, and now we don't pull a caution. And during that time, I got tagged in the left rear bumper, and it pushed the bumper in, and it flattened my tire. And he took off, and then we kept racing, and then I think he ended up in first, and I got to second and held on for dear life.
Yeah. Well, Joe Ransom says that was so cool seeing you go out in the backup and rip off a new track record.
Yeah.
That is a testament to your guys' journey. Both you and Gil both are outstanding drivers and making great calls in the pits. You know, it doesn't get any better than the camaraderie and the way you two work together that put you there. also, though, Joe Ransom is a class act, as well as Josh Culley, the two people that put that whole show on. That you couldn't ask for a better bunch of guys over there. I have one other question. You alluded at the beginning of your call that you were barbecuing. I need to know what you're barbecuing.
We're barbecuing some chicken, some thighs. We make up our own barbecue sauce. I barbecue quite a bit, actually, probably 1 to 3 times a week. And that's the way I like to eat, man. Anything custom, steaks, chicken, tri-tip. We do it all here.
Do you guys ever have watermelon?
Oh yeah.
They're having chicken. Of course, they're having watermelon
and black-eyed peas and chitlins.
Well, tonight we're having Brussels sprouts. Sometimes we'll have eggplant or.
Well, you just stopped me from coming down. Brussels sprouts. That's it.
I'm on my way. Are you kidding? Along with eggplant, you're my hero, dude. Okay.
Hey, if you guys are ever in California, you know who to call. I'll barbecue for you.
There it is. I'm sorry I derailed this, but I had to know about the barbecue.
No, you got to know because
I'm all about the food.
Because old Atkinson had some monster hot dogs on the grill Saturday night. Those were yummy.
Yeah, we missed you out there, Lippy. Gil had the barbecue going every night after the race.
I wanted to be there, buddy. I really did, but I'm working on the honey-do list, so I'm getting there.
Oh. Yeah, I totally understand.
Well,
yeah, it was a really.
Go ahead.
It was just a really awesome adventure. The track officials, they were on point, and they really abided by. It was cool how they accommodated us and our rules.
Yes, they did.
Everything was so professional, even to the way they handled the racers when things got, went out of hand on the track. Everything was just to the T. I couldn't see it going any better, honestly, with the event. It was smooth. Everything went fast. The track was actually beautiful. It was blue grooved. It was smooth. It was as good as we were going to get for a short track, I think. I really liked the track.
For sure, man. You're 100% right. They followed the rules. They said, we didn't make these. We're just going to abide by them. Matt kind of had a little bit of he had a tough night. It started in the heat race or whatever, but and the heat didn't help anything. He was frustrated and so on. But still, all in all, you're right. They did do a super job. But we're gonna let you go barbecue because we got a bunch of stuff to still finish up on the show. We appreciate you. We appreciate talking to you tonight, man. Congratulations. I mean, you were stellar. You were the guy to beat. And Lippy's already left. He's in his truck, and he's heading your way for the barbecue.
I'll put some extra on there for him.
Right on. Woo-hoo! Hey, well, man, thanks for taking the time, Fernandez, and we'll be talking soon, all right?
All right. Thank you guys for having us. You have a good night.
You too, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Ryan Fernandez. We got some ads to get in. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back in just a minute. The 3 most expensive things you'll do in your life are buy a house, educate your kids, and go racing. What you don't need is another expense, and that's why you take your car and tow rigs to TruTech Automotive to ensure that they are maintained and repaired the right way with the right parts at the right price. And how's this for right? Extended to all racers is the In the Family 25% discount off of all preventative maintenance and repair labor. All you have to do is use the discount code NWRR to save. Now that's right. Get it done the right way, the TruTech way. TruTech Automotive, 6900 Northeast Highway 99, Hazeldale, Washington. 360-571-2302. Racing. It's preparation. It's focus. It's attention to detail. And when you try to take shortcuts, it shows. At Speed City, Southern Oregon's karting headquarters, distributor for Ultramax, Legend, QRC, Bell Helmets, and K1 race gear, they don't roll like that. Speed City is committed to roll the way champions roll by keeping racers on track with knowledge, integrity, and performance. No shortcuts, no negativity, no other motives. You don't just have their word on it, you've got their name on it. So get back to having fun and get to calling Speed City. Speed City, LLC, keeping racers on track with quality service and friendship. 531-1222. Wow. Big shout out to Ryan Fernandez. He had quite a weekend. No doubt about it.
Last couple.
You know, and that's kind of almost perfect timing because over the next couple weeks, I've got a few things. I'm going to give you some ways to be a winner. And I want you guys to jump in and comment on some of these. And number one, says you got to have a plan. The best way to ensure that everything gets done is to know what has to be done and how long it can be expected to take. Would you agree with that?
Definitely.
100%. Got a whiteboard in the shop.
For major projects, make sure you allow plenty of time. Winners do not thrash.
I agree.
That might be a little bit of a lie.
No, if you're...
lucky winners do.
Even the little tasks may take a little longer, so try to allow yourself enough time to get the job done right the first time. Are we in agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Race day schedule. There are always tasks that need to be accomplished before the car or cart is loaded for a trip to the track. Make sure you have a checklist of chores and supplies. If you have help, always a good idea. Remind them to check off the task when it is completed. Time can be precious, especially when you're looking for a long ride or facing a long ride to the racetrack. Agreed?
Yeah.
Good.
Crew duties. An efficient team is created when everyone knows what is expected. It is also important to allow the crew members to have input into their duties and maybe the procedures. Crew members need to work independently, but also as a unit, and sometimes they may be called upon in other areas, but make sure that they can do the job.
This is very true. I've back in the drag racing days, we had a gentleman that came with us that claimed to be very well-rounded in all areas. And crossing plug wires on a blown motor is not a good thing.
Yikes. See. Number 4, trick parts. The latest and greatest may be neither. Make sure you get the right part for the right job. And remember, what works for one guy may not work for you. So go with what you know and make sure that they are dependable.
Stick with it.
Is that because there's a lot of that going on?
Oh, boy.
A lot of that. That's called monkey see, monkey do, I think.
Follow the Joneses.
Monkey trouble.
Number 5, keeping the car clean. This can be a time-saving step that will result in time spent elsewhere for a critical matter. Keep the car covered when possible to prevent dirt and dust from getting into places where it shouldn't be. You can wheel the car out, blow it off on occasion, but be sure you protect areas susceptible to damage from dirt and water. Agreed? We don't have a whole lot of water. Well, we do, maybe on dirt, but we're far enough away, the water's not going to.
It's not always about the dirt or the water, though. I can think of 3 different incidences where I have had my air-fuel mixture dialed for me without me asking. So simply by putting a cover over the engine or the whole cart would have made that more difficult for somebody to do. So don't always be trusting in that area.
This one here, I've got number 6. This may or may not be important. Not everybody can afford this. Not everybody needs this. But using computers. This should be one of the tools of the 21st century toolbox. Computers can help in many ways, especially when there is an internet connection. Tasks like calculation, chassis setup, reference, and ordering parts are necessary evils where a computer can save time. Remember to use it as a resource and not a recreation when there's work to be done. I agree maybe with some of the apps where you can have the gear ratio charts and maybe some of the other I know they had some for Rotax where it tells you what jet you put in your altitude and all that. It may be getting a little far, too futuristic, but maybe the UAS guys need it. I don't think the 206 guys are going to be necessarily.
Your U.S. Your unlimited all-star guys. That there ain't nothing there that you can base anything on. It's their own creations for the most part.
Right.
So they're going to have their own.
for the most part, but a lot of that stuff can be adapted to computer systems. But my big deal is don't become reliant. Once you become reliant on that and you want it to think for you,
and you lose your seat of the pants. Yes,
it takes you out of the equation, and that's not a good thing.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more, Lip. That's for sure. It's just number 7, keeping alert. When working on your ride, it means long hours. Long hours can often mean the work isn't done to the best ability. Try to tackle the more difficult jobs early in the night and allow plenty of time to get it done. If it can't be finished in one session, be honest with yourself and allow the time. Falling asleep while working on your car or on your back only messes up the schedule for tomorrow because there's still work to be done.
I have to add something to that, and you really need to pace yourself with your alcohol consumption because if you indulge too much before the job is done, the error factor multiplies heavily.
You read my mind.
Experience.
Number 8, alcohol. It's found in many shop refrigerators or in nearby kitchens. It should be kept cold until the work is completely finished. Anything that will distract a worker from performing to the best of his abilities is a threat to the success of the race program.
Amen.
It is always more refreshing when it's a reward for a night of hard work. Very good, Lippy.
Thank you for that.
Yep. Schedule of events. Be realistic in planning your season. It would be nice to tow off to a special event many hours away, but the results won't equal expectations if you're asking too much of everyone involved. Sometimes you win more when you race less. Winning requires the best effort every time. Decreasing the number of races to a manageable level may be the strategy to bring a win.
And keep you sleeping in your own bed.
And married.
Yes.
Definitely number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine just says go.
I haven't reached that
Please,
stage.
go.
You're not gone yet?
Yeah.
Do you need help with your bags?
And the last one for this
Sorry.
And the last one for this week is fix or replace last week's mess. Every week is not going to yield the desired results. A bad week is discouraging. A good week is just days away. There may be panels to straighten, engine work to be done, or suspension parts to replace. Get the car or cart back to its racing trim is necessary before you can even think about improvement. Don't let the past determine the future, especially when the results of the past were not the desired results.
Yeah, that's a true fact, and I have to say that be thorough when you're doing your week in, week out looking over of the race vehicle. Be thorough. You know, I missed a bent axle, and I got down to Salem this last winter, and you know, everything looked good. Everything was great. Went out for practice, and I about beat myself to death and, you know, rolled it back into the pits, and I missed a bent axle. And, you know, I spent, you know, the next practice beating the new axle into it. So, yeah, be thorough, people. Yeah, thunderheads, you know, just never work out.
I think that's where a list comes in handy, right? Just a checklist to go over, hey, rear axle, front end, you know, all the stuff. Ronnie Swire says, we always use the Race Air weather station to help with engine tuning. That might be, for what he's doing, that's probably huge. For now, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The road race deal, I can see maybe that. I could see I could see the UAS using stuff like that. I
know two guys that pay very much attention to that each go-kart racing weekend. KB's one of them.
Yes,
but still comes down to the point. Like if you're like what we do down at Grays Harbor, once your racing starts, you ain't got a lot of time to be playing with motor. It
better be done.
It better be done,
right?
Because everything else you're doing within that night is suspension wise. Unless the motor's falling on its face,
and that's very true.
Your shocks, pan bar, and the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and this is what I've always said that I think is a good deal. Is my father-in-law told me this. Well, he says, you know, make a list when you go to the race. You've scaled, you've been on, you've got all your numbers in, you've got everything dialed. And he says, now you need to make a list that says, okay, if we're too tight, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And, put them in order. Easiest first to the more difficult. If we're too loose, we're going to do this, 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 and this. That way, when you get to the racetrack, I mean, you go out and it's not quite good enough, and you're scratching your head, and you're going, what the, and you're that's wasting precious time that you could be getting back out on the racetrack or on a test day if you've got that, so that way, and then everybody knows what you're gonna do. Hey, if he comes in and he says it's too tight, and we're gonna put the first thing we're gonna do is put more stagger to it. You don't even have. I mean, you don't even have to really know what's going on. Hey, we're going to be doing stagger first, so let's get the tires ready. Bang, bang, boom, and out you go, and away you go. Yes, you could probably adjust that accordingly, but I think that's a good idea to at least have an idea, so you're not wasting time going, well, should we put stagger to it, or we need to take a round out, or do we, what do we do? I mean, and you waste all that time going, geez, I don't know. What would you do? I don't know. So. I mean, you agree?
Yeah, team meeting and a debate on race day is not the best thing. A scheduled plan, as you put forth, is probably the best bet. Because then it's bing, bang, boom, and it's not a debate on which is the best move.
And it keeps the driver honest, too, right? Hey, we said we're going to do the stagger thing. That's the first thing. Boom, we're going to do that. Next, we'll go to the next thing if it's still too free. I mean, how do you guys do it?
That's the same way. I mean, we have a plan. We know what we're going to do for shock, where we're going to, if it's drop the J-bar, do whatever we're going to do. We know where we're going.
Right.
Yeah. But that's also 8 years of Chris and I working together.
Well, sure.
We don't need to have the physical list. We know what our next change is.
Well, I can remember when I was doing it, when we were together, it was like always you'd go out and you'd qualify, or you'd go out and you'd have you go out and practice. And as soon as you come in off the racetrack, somebody's, you haven't even got out of the car yet. Somebody's asked, so how was it? What is it good? And it's like, whoa. So I just made the deal was, hey, always when I qualified, I would come in, I would sit in the car for a minute, I'd take my lid off, whatever, and sit in there for a minute and just kind of go over the lap. And kind of remember what the car felt like. And it was like, okay, so don't ask me what the car's doing or what we're going to do until I get out of the car. And then once I get out of the car, that means, okay, yeah, I've kind of gone over the lap, and I can give you a better idea of what the car's doing. To come in instantly and say, so what are we, no. Give them some time to think about it.
That's like what?
Process.
A lot of times what I do is I walk by, I knock the window net down, and then I go to checking tires. I look at, I feel for tire temps and stuff. And then by that time he's coming out of the car, he's,
already processed the lap and whatever. I just think that's a good way of doing things.
And at first I always pushed that. I always pushed that envelope. And finally, one day I kind of noticed, if I just let him get out, do his thing, I can go around looking, well, hey, this tire's hot. Let's look what we're, and then we can have a good discussion. He can say what he felt and what he thinks, and then we go from there.
Well, you can have a rebuttal too. If he's saying it's doing this, you can come back and say, well, yeah, this tire's way hotter than that tire, so I don't know that it's doing that. Or yeah, this tire's the same temperature, so yeah, I agree it's doing that. So
and
that's a great idea.
Right. And at the end of the day, I mean, as a crew person, I mean, obviously you're not in the car.
No.
So, I mean, let's face it. At the end of the day, the driver has the last say in what we're doing. I mean, you may suggest, hey, I'm thinking, we should put a shock or a spring or whatever it is, take a round out or whatever. But at the end of the day, the driver's going to say, he's going to tell you it's bad enough. We need to fix this first. Then we can go ahead and try to tackle some of the other stuff.
Yeah, and that's the way Chris. I mean, it's Chris's car. I mean, I'm there to do the adjustments, but I do watch the car.
You have to
intently.
You have to.
That was like the other day I tried to do Facebook Live from up there. Well, I missed the one incident where the guy parked in the side of the car because I was doing the Facebook deal. I'm done with that at the racetrack. I just can't. It doesn't do me no good.
Right.
I can't pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think as a crew member, I mean, the driver does have the last say, but that doesn't mean that you just completely, shut up and say, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? I mean, you're the driver. No. I mean, that your feedback watching the car is crucial to either confirm or deny what he's saying. But I think the biggest thing is when you're communicating with whether you're driver or crew member, the driver has to honestly say, and it's okay to say, the car's better than I am right now. Right? Because everybody wants to blame the car. It's not always the car. The car, you might just be off. Hey, the car's better than I am right now. I need to heat race to really confirm what I'm thinking I feel. I mean, I'm hitchhiking getting in. I'm not really driving, So I think the key is to be honest.
Exactly.
You know what? Man, I'm just not on tonight. The car's better than I am, and I didn't drive it in hard enough. I didn't do this. And I think that's the key to really getting it right.
And there's a bunch of the newer younger kids that are out there running in this modified class that they don't understand that. They do not understand.
Yeah, it's always the car's fault.
And they're tearing up their equipment and everybody else's equipment too.
Yep.
If that old adage, slow down, you'll be faster.
It will, yeah.
It's not taught anymore. I think one of the things that Terry and I heard around the campfire at ORV after the last race was the car exceeded my talent level. So that was really, an eye opener for me when that was stated that, the car was way more talented than I was. So that's something to say that, but in a lot of these classes, that's the way it is. You're traveling really fast, and by the time your mind catches up to what's actually going on underneath you, yeah, you're over your head sometimes.
Yeah. Renee says the Race Air Pro is almost a must for a 450. I
agree.
So
especially an injected one.
Yeah. So let that be something to you. Again, and I know the way Jeff believes too is a lot of the computer stuff now is making things very expensive, I guess you could say, right? There's no, back in the day it was all, you had to use your body was the telltale thing. Not so much. Well, Phil Fowle was good at it. He could tune.
Seat of the pants.
He could tune right, but still. I don't know.
It's and as much as I hate to say it, it's the wave that we're riding, and
it is.
When you got Earl Pearson with his late model with a shock dyno inside his trailer, they pull him off after every race and run him on the shock dyno.
That's what Garrett does too. It's crazy. But even that is no guarantee that you're going to go out there and mop up. That's what I mean. It's some of the guys are still doing it old school, and sometimes in some instances that old school way is still the best way.
In some instances,
the cart is going to tell you what it needs. You just have to be kind of put in some of these things and slow down and take the time to think about it before just rushing. Hey, it's junk. We're not fast. We're hey. You got to slow down. You got to figure out. The cart's telling you what it needs. You just need to kind of...
You need to get on the one-on-one with the cart at that point.
Exactly. You just need to slow down and think about it for a minute.
Just like what Phil said that day when the guy was talking about I need you to put a setup in the cart. No. You go...
Just go drive your go-kart. A lot of these new guys, they it's like, you don't know. You don't need... Just go drive it. 95% of the questions you have are going to be answered...
Right here.
If you just go drive your go-kart for a little bit. You don't have to worry. I can't tell you everything. You got to go kind of experience it. So next week we'll have I'll have 10 more for you. Some will be from the track, some other issues, but kind of a cool way. So use some of them if they work for you. Great. If not, if nothing else, it's a friendly reminder to just kind of go through and have that list and anything you can do. I think to to organize yourself, because there's a lot going on these days, and it's hard to remember and keep everything in your mind, what's going on. And maybe even that computer thing could be a help if it's nothing more than something like Google Keep, where you can make a list right there on your your iPad or whatever it is, or your tablet, whatever. So I don't know. Just take it for what it is. Hopefully it reminds you or helps you, and that's what we're here for. So,
like Chizzy says, sometimes you got to go slow to go fast.
Amen. And sometimes, let's face it, all you are is a fifth-place car. You can drive a whole other car underneath it, and it's not going to matter. You're just fifth, and you got to know, hey, it's just not happening today. So let's just go get the best we can get and go from there.
Some days I'm really proud to be fifth.
Absolutely, right? Right? And, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm here to tell you.
That's the whole thing. You can actually hurt yourself trying to overdial and run yourself out. So that fifth now is a 10th because you should have just said, hey, you know what? Let's just go out and finish up the day, and this is as good as we're going to get. And, so that's a wrap on that. So we appreciate Ryan Fernandez to be our guest, our Blue Line Graphics in the Seat guest tonight. What a great guy. Good to see Ronnie Swires on here, our driving coach extraordinaire, and he'll be back with more tips and tricks and all that once his schedule slows down. That'll be great this winter.
Looking forward to that. Good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff, really. And
I can respect being busy, though.
And lastly, we kind of went through it, so we kind of missed it today just because we had so much stuff with the Republic and all that. We didn't get our oh my goodness section in today, but we'll be that'll be back next week as hopefully things taper down. But big shout out to Northwest Kart Dates for all the help. Big shout out to Sean Hulbert, Sean in the Dirt, for his awesome interviews that he was so kindly allowed us to use to play at the start of the show. That's pretty awesome. And
big shout out to Joe Ransom and Josh
yes.
Coley for putting on a great show over there and doing everything they can to move karting forward.
Yeah, and Brian Esquinia for me, for just always being there and having the positive word and upbeat encouragement to just to keep nudging the Northwest Race Report forward. He's I just can't tell you, it's just awesome, some of the conversations we had. So it's super cool. Andrea Jaime, really glad she came on the show tonight. Hope she's on more. Spread the word, folks. We're doing our best here. If there's something you think we need or could use, we're always open to a little constructive criticism. So
absolutely. I noticed, I know we're getting over on time here, but I got to plug this once. Joe Torres put some stuff up about the Nats this August down in Arizona, and they're putting together their packages, their winners, and that different stuff. Knutsen's in there, BLG's in there, a number of different people are in there putting in little bits of good stuff here and there. So hats off to all those people that are making that stuff happen, that are committed to our sport and trying to move this whole thing forward. So great job to everybody on that. Looking forward to it. We will hopefully be down there making it happen.
Yep. Next ORV event is going to be July 29th. At ORV, so that's always a
quarter.
Yeah. So we are we're about out of time. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Renee Angel, Dave Chisholm, Ronnie Swires, Kevin Bridges, all you guys that are yeah, for sure. Good stuff. Congratulations to all the winners this weekend. Don't forget the showdown this weekend. If you can, get a chance to go check Double M. He's going to be making his debut down at Sunset Speedway. I think the loader's going to be down there. And again, big shout out to Sean Hulbert, Sean in the Dirt podcast, for allowing us to use those interviews. It was super cool. Lip, you got anything before we go?
Nope. God is good and be good.
That he is. How about you, Loader? You got anything, buddy?
Nope. Doing good.
Hey, Miss Blakely, or Berkeley, Tiana Berkeley, thanks for the cool, awesome T-shirts. And guess what number it is? 45. Same as Ransom and Fernandez. That's crazy.
It's a theme.
We'll be back next week. We're going to have some good stuff. I'll have some more tips on how to be a winner. I'm sure the loader, he's always got cool and interesting stuff. Lip, you going to have anything for next week?
Something good.
Something good. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks so much. We love you. And, my goodness, if somebody's on the bottom. Lip?
I'm going to the high side.
Please. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Working the blue groove.
Shout out to tonight's sponsors, Chris C. High Performance, True Tech Automotive, Speed City LLC, and the good folks at True Tech Automotive. We appreciate it.